Happy Wednesday. It is VBS week, so it's a little crazy in the house right now. Y'all bear with me. I'm sure the echo in here is awful, but I'm hiding and we'll get through this because this is some really important information. So, today we are going over what you guys voted for, and that was what your solution is if you prefer a lot of the aspects of an older home, but you really want something nice and updated. So obvious answers, usually you're like, well, I get a house that's old or I get new construction and I don't love the layout. I have a tiny yard. Maybe, you have dogs, kids, whatever that you want a larger space for. And so you're going to have to pick between those two choices most of the time. Your other option is to be really lucky, like we were, and buy a house that someone has already renovated. Now, there's pros and cons to that. Pro is obviously it's done for you. Con is it's done for you. So there are things that are not going to be perfect. Our house was a flip. I'm always very cautious of flips because you never know how well they're done. In our case, everything major, plumbing, electrical, foundation, all checked out and was perfect, all updated. But then there are still little things that we find, like our exterior paint. They just sprayed over some stuff. We have literally some pine needles underneath the paint of the exterior of our house because it was a flip. For us having everything done and the major things checking out, that's okay. But there is another solution, especially because this means that the people that came in and flipped it are getting the profit. And while we still have great value, we lucked out. We purchased right when we were able to buy actually under appraisal, which doesn't happen often. So we have great equity, but the person who bought it before us made a huge profit, right? So if you were looking to, not come out of pocket a whole lot, there are some options for that. I think it's really hard when, like us, you want something with mature trees, a nice yard, you want the original hardwoods, really cool features that you don't find in brand new homes. But then you want that open floor plan or that updated kitchen or things like that. And finding something that marries the two is honestly really difficult, even in a market full of people renovating. And I know for us when we were looking, it was the same thing of, well, do we buy something that's maybe cheaper and has the yard we want, and then we're putting in work, but then we're coming out of pocket a lot of money, and it's just a lot. I find most people that go back and forth with this too, a lot of them are first-time home buyers. So, it's not like you're taking equity out of your last house and putting it into this one. So coming up with that cash sometimes is not great. So something that is super cool that you may or may not know of are construction loans. So most of the time, even when people have this plan, they don't have money out of pocket, they go ahead and buy a house and then either take out a home equity line of credit or just a regular construction loan or renovation loan in order to do those upgrades. That usually, you're looking at around 2 years in your house before you get to do that. The nice thing is that there are loans that couple your purchase with your renovation. So the way that works is it would still run similarly to your FHA or conventional loan. If you don't know the ins and outs of those, I'm happy to go over them. But we'll just table that for now because, sorry, because that's a whole different conversation. But they're going to run the same way as your normal home loan would go. You're still only looking at that 3 to 3.5% down as a first-time home buyer instead of coming out of pocket a lot. The difference is it provides a solution for all of the questions I get of, well, why can't I get a loan for $300,000 and buy a $250,000 house and use the $50,000 extra? because it doesn't work that way. They're going to fund the money that you need, not the money that you just feel like putting in your pocket. Construction loan is bridging that gap. So what it does is you're going to go in and you have your purchase price, and then you're also going to have your estimates of the work that you want to have done. And then your down payment is going to be a percentage of that total. So they're looking at what the house would be after renovation. So it's the only part where you do end up spending a little bit more upfront. But then all of those repairs are financed in. You go ahead and close on your house. You have the repairs done. They're going to come check 6 months out and make sure that everything's done. It's all funded, perfect. And then you have no hiccups. You have a newly remodeled home that you've got to make all the choices for. And it all falls just under that one mortgage. So I think that that's a really, really cool product. The other thing that is really awesome with that is depending on the type that you get, it has a little bit more leeway. So most of you probably aren't familiar, some maybe, but an FHA, it would be a 203K is their renovation loan. And that's a lot of what we think about when looking at, distressed properties that maybe need some work to bring them up to what would be required of an FHA loan, making sure that everything is safe. You don't have any peeling paint, anything like that, but they will not add things. So you can update your home. You can obviously make it safer. There's a lot that you can still do in those confines. New cabinets, counters, floors, all that jazz, even moving around some walls. If you have a pool and it's not working, you can either take it out or have it fixed, and that's all covered. If you go the conventional route, though, we can start adding stuff. If you want an outdoor kitchen, if you want an in-ground pool, all of these cool little things that you're just like, man, I love the house, but I really wish it had a pool, and I just can't find a house with a pool that I like. There's a solution. And that's something a lot of people don't think about, because the house may still be perfect. And you're like, oh, well, it doesn't need renovations. I just want a pool. Well, you can either come out of pocket to get the pool, or you can do your renovation loan and include it on the front end. So just something for you guys to think about. The additional things, honestly, as far as like your pool, your outdoor kitchen, even an accessory dwelling unit, if you want a guest house, those are all things that can be included that I didn't even know about until this week. So this is the importance of always learning and continuing to share. And if you want something that you don't think any house is going to fit, then let's have a conversation and see if maybe we just need to go renovation route, and get some of those cool features just under this umbrella. So if you need anything, you know where to find me. Text me, DM me. Try to ignore the craziness of my house right now, but I'll see you guys next week. And I hope that this has been really insightful for you and provides a solution that you may have not thought of. Bye.